Are you tired of spending hours and hours researching different business ideas only to find yourself more frustrated and more overwhelmed than when you first started? I've been there. I've launched multiple side hustles, some that flopped and some that thrived. And I know what it's like to overthink yourself into a dead end. As a former business banker of 14 years, I've had relationships with hundreds of businesses in different niches. And what if I told you that some of the best business ideas are already hiding in plain sight? In this video, I'm going to share with you a simple framework that can help you stop overthinking, come up with winning ideas, and actually take action right now. Let's get into it. So when you think about potential business ideas, think of it from a problem-first approach. So when you think about problems, think about, your everyday life. What are problems that people are experiencing all around you? Your success in your business is directly correlated with how well you solve the problem and how big the problem is that you're solving. So let's take Amazon, for example. We think about Amazon and they've become very successful because they solve some very big problems for people. The fact that people don't necessarily want to go into a store or have the time to go into a store and actually buy a product. And then the fact that people don't want to wait for the product and that people want to buy something from a company that they actually really trust. So Amazon does this very well by providing a very convenient solution for people to actually buy online. And then when they buy, they know exactly when the product is going to be coming to them. So they have the trust and they know that the product is going to be delivered, sometimes even same day, which is insane. And then you have a crazy return policy, which is also something that builds trust with people. So they solve some really big problems. So now your business idea needs to solve a specific problem, like something that your target customer is lacking. So when you think about that, that's how you're going to actually be able to get them to part with their hard-earned money. Now, the next few strategies are going to allow you to have a starting point for coming up with winning business ideas. So when it comes to brainstorming business ideas, a great starting point is, what do you have deep knowledge in? Like, what are the things that you have acquired a lot of expertise in? So think about your past job experience. What are some jobs that you've done before? What are some skills that you've acquired? What are some problems that you've already solved? The reason why this is important is because deep knowledge can give you an unfair advantage to actually make you more likely to succeed because it's an area that you know really well. Even things like, for example, your parents. What are some of the things that they do for career? Do any of your parents own businesses? For example, my dad owns a print shop and he's run a print shop for many years. And it's amazing how much knowledge I've acquired just by being around the business, just kind of by osmosis and, things I didn't even realize that I knew. So think about even that, like, what do your parents do? What have you done? Summer jobs that you've had, real full-time employment that you've had, and things that you've done a lot in your life. And then also, what are the interests that you have? Like, what are you interested in? What are the hobbies that you have? Are you a musical person? Do you like to cook? Are you a person that likes to do makeup or hair? Like, what are the things that you're really interested in that you have a deep knowledge in or an unfair advantage in? Think about that at first, and that gives you a really good starting point for how you can actually help to solve a problem for other people. You can also think about, what are some problems that you yourself have had, over your life, right? What are some problems that you yourself have had that you've solved for yourself? So an example of a successful company that I've heard born out of a problem that they themselves had was a lady named Lou and her husband, and they actually were avid readers. She had a Kindle device, and one night when she was nursing her baby, she actually had the Kindle and she dropped the Kindle because she nodded off and the Kindle accidentally hit her baby's head. I know, terrible. And so that frustration of, oh my gosh, I never want this to happen again, is how the company was born. Her and her husband just basically went to work on developing a solution to that problem. And they created a strap for the Kindle, something that the Kindle would just go into, and then your hand would sit in it. So you can just hold the Kindle with one hand and read for an endless amount of time. So today, that company called Strapsicle is a very successful company, and I think they have a patent on that product as well. So that's an example of somebody trying to solve their own problem and created a product that was very successful and solved other people's problems too. So once you identify the areas that you have some deep knowledge in, the next step is really to figure out who you want to serve. Like, who is your ideal customer? Is it men over 50? Is it busy moms from the ages of 28 to 45 who have young kids? Identify who it is that you want to serve. And maybe the person is just like yourself. What is the avatar that is you? And that's a great starting point, actually, because you know your avatar so well. Like, you know yourself deeply. People like you have certain issues and you know what those pain points are and those problems are that you could help to solve. So that's a great starting point. So here's an example of a customer avatar. So let's say you want to target busy moms, okay? So Sarah the super mom, we'll just name her Sarah. She's 32, she's married, she's got 2 kids, aged 3 and 6, is busy, she works full time in a management position, she makes $85,000 a year. Some of the challenges that she has is she is trying to juggle work and home and feel like she's doing well at both. She wants to feel like she's doing well in her job, but also wants to be the best mom that she can be. And so some of these things are like her pain points or her concerns or her challenges that she has. So what are some products that you could create that could help to solve some of the things that she's got on her mind or some challenges, right? Thinking of it from that standpoint. So that's an example, like understand who they are, what are their pain points, what are the things that are important to them, what are their challenges, and that will give you insight as to what problems they have that you can solve. The other thing that's helpful too is thinking about what is a typical day like for this person, for your ideal customer avatar. You know, do they wake up early? Do they go to bed late? Do they work from home? Do they not work at all? Are they retired? Like think about their day and how they actually spend their time. And then that will also give you a good sense of some things that you can do to help make their life better. Now, once you identify the areas that you have deep knowledge in and the person that you actually want to serve, the next step is the most important of all of these that I'm going to be putting in this video, which is, and I know I'm going to get resistance on this, but will give you the best ideas if you do it well, is to actually speak to people. So the reason why this is good is because you can actually talk to them about what their problems are, their pain points. They might even tell you what they wished existed as a product but isn't out there. This is by far the best way of generating ideas, to actually go there and talk to your customer avatar, the person that you identified in the last step. Talk to them about the areas that you have deep knowledge in. And before you say, yeah, I'm not going to do that, what I would say is, how badly do you want it? Because the person that wants it really badly to succeed is going to do it, and they will win every single time. So if you want to be exceptional, you have to do things that other people are not willing to do, which is why this is so, so important. So when you think about your network of people, do you know anybody that fits your customer avatar criteria? Like when you were putting together the avatar, were you thinking about a specific person that is like that person that you envision that you'd want to help? So start with your friends and family and acquaintances. Like, is there anybody that you could speak to about the product that you're thinking of, or even just ask about their pain points to get ideas? Start with them first. If you don't know anybody in your circle, then what I would say is you can go out and actually meet people in your community. So if your idea is to actually help small business owners, then maybe you go to the Chamber of Commerce in your area, or you go to a meetup in your community of entrepreneurs that are getting together for networking events or something like that. And you go there and you ask them questions and you just engage and try to answer questions or add value, but just be very genuine in your desire to actually help people. What about if you wanted to launch a jewelry business for men, for example? Maybe you go to the mall and actually stand outside of a men's jewelry store. And as men leave the store, you kind of ask for a couple of minutes of their time and say, hey, I'm thinking of starting a jewelry business. Here are some things I was thinking about. What do you think about this? Or what do you like about the current options for jewelry that you saw in the store? What do you not like about it? I just want to get a sense of things that maybe I could offer that don't already exist or things like that. So some people might take you up on it. Some people might say, sure, I'll talk to you. Other people might say, yeah, I don't have time to talk to you, which is fine. You're going to get some of that and some people that are willing to help. But this is the best way of actually generating business ideas, because you're talking to a real person who's actually going to help you and give you a better sense of what they want, what they don't want. This is going to be a way more effective way to launch a business than to just assume that you know what people want and, go based on a couple of YouTube videos that you've watched before. Like, okay, yeah, this seems like a good side hustle to try or something like that, but you don't know what the demand is. It's better to actually speak to somebody, a real person, because they can give you way more insight, way more knowledge that you can use. So if all else fails with what I just mentioned, actually going out there and talking to people in your community, then what I would suggest is joining a Facebook group. So this would be the next best way of actually interacting with real people who have things to say, who are engaged on the topic that you want to potentially help in. So joining groups where your customer avatars hang out in your area of expertise, where you're thinking that you might actually have a potential solution, or you want to get a little bit more of an understanding of what the person's pain points are, joining a Facebook group is a great idea. And the reason why this is good is because people in Facebook groups tend to be more direct and passionate about what they actually want, what their pain points are, what their challenges are. So you're going to get more candid feedback that you can use to actually help you with developing some kind of product or service offering to them. Once you identify what some of the problems are, if there's somebody that's actually talking in there and you develop a rapport with them, that could actually be a potential customer that you could have down the road if you are able to directly help that person to solve their issue. So one successful entrepreneur, Patrice Banks, actually used this strategy for her business to develop her successful company, which is Girls Auto Clinics. So she used Facebook groups to engage with women about the fact that they felt taken advantage of and patronized when they went to go and bring their cars in for service. So through getting the feedback from these groups, she was actually able to build a very strong following of people and validated her business idea. So she turned that into a successful company, which now not only has women mechanics working there, but they also provide education for car repairs for women. And they also have a beauty bar. So when you go there, you can actually go and get your nails done and just chill at the bar, the beauty bar, while your car is getting serviced. So she understood the fact that, women would have to drop their cars off. They might have to go wait somewhere or get picked up and come back. And that was an inconvenience. So that was a direct way of putting them at ease and making them feel a lot more comfortable by actually having a beauty service built into your car service. So that's an example of how you can understand your customer avatar's pain points really well and then provide something that directly solves their problem. So some tips for maximizing your success on the Facebook group stuff is, really try to add value. Don't be spammy, don't promote things, but just add value, ask questions, provide answers to other people's questions that they have. You can have polls in there so you can ask people to vote on certain things or say, hey, I'm looking for feedback on this. What do you guys think, right? You can also search by history of what the prior messages were by certain words like struggle or difficulty or need help with or something like that to maybe uncover some messages where people are directly saying that they want help with something or they're having a challenge with something in order to kind of to get that information. And pay attention to how people are describing their pain points in the group as well. Look for themes and things that are coming up more than once. Like, what are you seeing maybe that has come up more than once as a pain point? That will give you clues as to what you could focus on in terms of your solution that you could offer them. So that brings me to my next point, which is to be an active listener. So in your everyday life, think about, you talking to your mom on the phone or having conversation with your friend or your sister or whoever it is in your life, acquaintances. What are these people talking about? Like, really listen in, because sometimes we can go through autopilot. We can be kind of tuning in and out of the conversation. We've got a lot on our minds a lot of the time. We're not really listening intensely to what they're saying. But next time you actually start to think about business ideas, really listen in on what they're saying, probe for clarification, like, what do you mean by that? Or, hey, if you had this solution, would that help you? Have more of that conversation of like how you can be of service to that person, how you can really help them, because these are going to be the areas where you're going to find the best business ideas when you're in real life, when you see firsthand issues where you can actually have an opportunity to solve a real problem. So now that you've figured out the areas that you have the most expertise in, the deep knowledge that you have, and the customer avatar that you want to help, and then you also know a little bit about their pain points, their challenges that they have, the questions that they have, the feedback that you've gotten. Now you can make a list of potential business ideas. So think about, what are the most annoying problems that I could solve in the areas that I have the most amount of interest in, the strongest amount of interest or passion, in the widest niche possible. And those are going to be your top business ideas. And then when you have a list, take out anything on that list that you really don't like or that you don't really want to do. And then that will give you a short list of things that you can now test and validate with your own additional research. I can't stress enough how important it actually is to get out there and talk to people about your business ideas. This is how you're going to get the best ideas. And I know that there's people out there that are saying, I really don't want to do that because they're worried, they're afraid that they're going to get rejected when they talk to a complete stranger in some cases. So if that's you, watch this next video where I talk in detail about how to overcome rejection in entrepreneurship, which is absolutely essential if you want to succeed in business and in life.